Good morning students, welcome to physics class. Today we are going to have class 11 practical session, physics practical session. This is the list of experiments and activities which we are going to do for term 1. Before going to start doing the experiments, let us have the evaluation pattern for this term 1 practical examination. So this is the evaluation pattern. You are going to have 1.5 hour examination. In that you are going to do 2 experiments comprises of 16 marks, 8 plus 8. Practical record to be submitted for 2 marks. 2 marks will be allotted for the practical record. Viva voice and the activities will be given 5 marks. Total you are going to have practical session for 15 marks. As I have shown, these are the list of experiments and activities which we are going to do for this term 1. First one is Vernier calipers, second one is screw gauge, third one is perometer, and fourth one is beam balance. And the activities which we are going to do are to prepare a paper scale with having a list count 0.2 centimeters and other scale with 0.5 centimeters. Second activity, to determine the mass of given body using a meter scale by the application of principle of movements. And third one, to measure the force of limiting friction for limiting friction for rolling of a roller on a horizontal plane. Let us start the session without wasting much time. Before going to start doing the experiment, let us go through the content given in the lab manual. Every experiment will have the aim, what we are going to do in that experiment, that will be given in this aim. For this Vernier calipers, we are going to measure the internal diameter and depth of a given calorimeter using Vernier calipers. Along with that, after measuring these values, we have to find out the volume of that calorimeter. So apparatus required, as usual, calorimeter and Vernier calipers. Third one, theory of this for every experiment. Theory for this every experiment is very much important. So how we are going to apply the equations or the values which we are going to find out using that apparatus, that will be given in this theory part. So here the diameter of the given calorimeter can be measured by applying this equation, which is MSR plus VC into LC. What do you mean by MSR? Means main scale reading of the Vernier calipers. MSR means main scale reading, VC means Vernier coincidence, LC means least count. So usually we are using Vernier calipers which is having the least count of 0.01 centimeters. So after getting the knowledge of this least count and the total equation used to find the diameter, let us go through the procedure. Procedure will be given in the lab manual. How to insert the given calorimeter with in between the jaws of the Vernier calipers, and how to note down the readings, that will be given clearly in this procedure part. After getting the knowledge on the procedure of doing this experiment, we have to go through the equations, or we have to go through the final outcome of the experiment which is mentioned in the aim. For this experiment, the volume of the calorimeter, we are going to find out the volume of the calorimeter. What is the equation that should be applied to get the volume, that we have to study first. And after getting the values, after by doing the experiment, we have to use this equation, volume is equal to pi r square h, to find out the volume of the calorimeter. So what are the important precautions we have to take care for doing this experiment, we have to mention here. And what are the areas where we may do small errors, that are also mentioned here. Please go through this parts before going to start the experiment. This is the tabular form where we have to note down the readings of the given experiment. First one, to find the internal diameter of the calorimeter. This is the tabular form. And second one, to find the depth of the given calorimeter. So both are having the same tabular form as we are using this Vernier calipers. So what we are going to calculate, that should be mentioned clearly. For that sake, we are going to draw two tabular forms. One is for internal diameter and other is for depth of the calorimeter. This is Vernier calipers which we are using in our lab. Let us see the important parts of this Vernier calipers. It has two jaw-like structures. This is upper jaws and these are lower jaws. Here the upper jaws are used to measure the internal diameters of the given devices. So that is shown in this video. Inner measuring jars, they are called as inner measuring jars, and these are outer measuring jars. Here the small scale is provided, which is called as Vernier scale. If you observe clearly, if you count the lines given in this Vernier scale, there will be 10 lines. So you have to start counting the numbers with 0. First line should be considered as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that we have up to 11. So counting should be done from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is called as Vernier scale. And this is retainer. Retainer is used to move the jaws away or towards each other. And the scale provided here is called as main scale. The readings shown in the main scale are very much similar to the readings provided on our usual scale, normal scale. So each division will be provided with a least count of 0.1 centimeters. So 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, like that 0.1 centimeter division will be there for this normal main scale. And by including this Vernier scale, the least count will become 0.01 centimeters. So the minimum reading that a Vernier calipers can measure is 0.01 centimeters. The normal scale can measure 0.1 centimeters. To get that accuracy, we can use this Vernier calipers. Now the device which we are going to measure the diameter or the length or any physical quantity, that device should be kept in between the two jaws like this by rotating this retainer. Once if it is rotating properly, and once these two jaws are fixed by placing this body between the two jaws, then the scale will be displaced and we can get a rough reading of this Vernier device. How to measure the reading? The reading can be measured first of all by considering the 0 of this Vernier scale. 0 of this Vernier scale is showing 2.1 in the main scale reading. So that is the point shown here. 0 of this scale is showing 2.1 centimeters on the main scale reading. Now after measuring this main scale reading, we have to go through this Vernier coincidence. Vernier coincidence is nothing but out of this 11 lines starting from 0 to 10, only one line will coincide with the main scale reading. If you observe this, the Vernier line and the main scale line will be touching each other, will be in contact with each other. In this particular setting, the Vernier coincidence is this line. So count the number of this line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8th line. So here Vernier coincidence is 8th line. So that 8 into 0.01 centimeters. So total reading will be 2.1 plus 8 into 0.01 centimeters. That will give the total reading of this diameter of this sphere. If you arrange this vernier calipers jaws properly, the coincidence will be exactly known. So initially it is shown that it is 8th division is coinciding, but after arranging this properly, we are getting the exact vernier scale reading, which is 7 divisions. So here the 7th line is coinciding properly, so that's why we can take this 7th line. Now let us see the calculation part. So here, as I told, this is the formula which we are going to apply: main scale reading plus vernier scale reading into least count. So main scale reading is 22.1 plus 7 into 0.01. So total reading will be 2.17 centimeters. Now we are going to apply the same procedure for measuring the diameter, internal diameter, and the depth of the given beaker. So let us go through the process. So the materials required are vernier calipers and the calorimeter, which is a beaker considered here. So by taking this vernier calipers, we have to place this beaker in the inverted position to measure the internal diameter. So once it is fixed, the two jaws, the upper jaws are separated properly so that they are perfectly fitted between the two base of this calorimeter, between the 2 points of this calorimeter, and here the calorimeter should not move. That indicates that the two jaws are properly fitting this calorimeter. So once getting that proper perfection, we can measure the main scale reading. What is the main scale reading? How to measure this main scale reading means the 0 of the vernier scale is showing this 3.5 in the main scale reading. So that gives main scale reading value. So 0 of this vernier scale, what it is showing, that is main scale reading, which is 3.5 in this case. Now we are going to measure the vernier coincidence. So out of all these lines, only one line will coincide with this main scale reading. If you consider that line, for me it is showing first line is not coinciding properly, 0th line is not coinciding properly, first line is not coinciding properly, second line, if you observe the second line, it is in contact with the line in the main scale reading. So here I can consider vernier coincidence as 2. Apart from 2, no other line is coinciding properly. So let us see the procedure here. So main scale reading is 3.5 as I told. Now moving on to this vernier coincidence, which is second division. So now we are going to see the calculation part. So total reading we are going to find. Let us see the process of finding out the total reading of internal diameter. 3.5 plus 2 into 0.01 centimeters, which is 3.52 centimeters. That is the internal diameter of the given calorimeter. Now we are going to find the depth of this calorimeter. How to find out the depth means the calorimeter is placed horizontally and the line which is given at the back side of this vernier caliper should touch the base of that calorimeter. So after getting that contact, let us measure the main scale reading and vernier coincidence for this calorimeter. So the main scale reading is, if you observe this main scale reading, it is 5.4, and vernier coincidence is, for me it is showing 8th line. So 5.4 and the vernier coincidence is 8th line. So let us see the values for this measurement. Main scale reading is 5.4 and Vernier coincidence is 8th division. So if you find out the exact value, you will get total reading is 5.48 centimeters. So that is the total diameter of internal diameter of the calorimeter, 5.48 centimeters. Now after getting this, we have to find out the volume of the beaker, which is pi r square d. So if you substitute all these values, then you will get the volume of the calorimeter or the beaker given to you. So the total volume is 3.53.30102 centimeter cube. So you have to do this calculation manually, and you have to substitute the value of this result what you got in the result column provided in that manual. After getting the knowledge of this measurement, let us see the simulator video where we are going to find out the value of this given material using this Vernier calipers. So we can select any one structure given: beaker, sphere, iron block and cylinder. So let us calculate the internal diameter and depth of our beaker. So you can select this, place the beaker at this point, so as shown in that previous video, animation video, and you can drag on this so that it is fitting properly, it is not at all moving further. So now we are going to measure the main scale reading. So what is the main scale reading here? 0 is showing 3.123 third line, 3 lines crossed, after 3 lines crossed, so it is 3.3, and this line is not touching this fourth line, so leave that one, don't consider that fourth line. So the main scale reading is 3.3. and Vernier coincidence, if you want to find out of all these lines, I am getting a 10th line as the coincidence in this case. So 10th line means 10 into 0.01, which is 0.1. So 3.3 plus 0.1, which is 3.4 centimeters. So let us substitute the reading here. Let us check the value for this reading. I am using displacing this calorimeter, this Vernier calipers, and I am refitting this one. So here the readings will change once if you displace this jaws from their position. So now let us find out the reading for this. So here 0th line is showing 3.123 third line, 3.3 is the main scale reading, and here Vernier coincidence. If you find this Vernier coincidence, you can see any one line which is in contact with the main scale reading. Here I am getting a 5, 6, 7th line, 3.37. Let us check the reading. I tried previously. So 3.37. One or two divisions it may come error. So let us check the value. So here 7th line is not coinciding. So you can check with 6th line. So from my side, I thought 7th line is correct, but it is showing error. So we can go through for this 6th line. So let us check. So that is correct. So the diameter of the given calorimeter, internal diameter of the given calorimeter is 3.36 centimeters. After finding out this internal diameter, let us go through the process of calculating depth. Select the depth option here and displace the calorimeter, displace this Vernier calipers so that this pin touch the base of that calorimeter. So here after that, how much you want to displace, this screw will not allow us to move. So if you want to close, if you want to come back, you can come back. And finally we want to check here. So here this line is touching the base of the calorimeter. So the readings are shown here. By seeing these readings, we can able to identify what is the depth of the calorimeter. Here the main scale reading is 4.8. 4.8. So let us enter that value first. 4.8. And coincidence. Vernier coincidence for me, it is 0, 1, 2, second line. So let us check the coincidence value 4.82. Then check the value. So it is coming wrong. So now we can check with the third line. Maybe one or two lines may differ. So 4.83. So that is also wrong. So 0, 1, 2, go through this coincidence properly. Third line. Let us check with the second line. So second line is also not coinciding. Third line is also not coinciding. So let us go with first line. So first line is also not coinciding. Let me check once again. So here I checked by resetting this calorimeter once again. So I got 4.78. So this is 4.7 and 8th line is coinciding. So I got this depth as 4.78. So like that you can cross check the value. If you are not getting the proper value, then you can reset the experiment and then you can start measuring the reading from first. So like this you can select and you can measure the reading from the first part. So here I am getting 5.1. So 5.1 is the main scale reading, and if you check the coincidence, fifth line is coinciding properly. So 5.15. So let us check the answer. So 5.15 is the correct answer. Like that we can measure the internal diameter and the depth of the calorimeter, and we can easily find out the volume of the given calorimeter. So I hope you understood the experiment using this Vernier calipers clearly. So you can cross check your values in that OLabs simulator. So if you have any doubt in doing this experiment, we'll discuss this during this online sessions. Okay, so try to practice this experiments in your house and you can tabulate the values. I hope you understood this first experiment on Vernier calipers. In the next class, I will come up with another experiment using screw gauze. Till then, take care. Thank you.